Welcome back on deynonmod. Today I want to propose you a video about the unboxed review about the White Dwarf issue 510 of March 2025 released by the Games Workshop. I can anticipate you that the players of Warhammer 40k will quite appreciate such White Dwarf, and also the players of Middle-earth, because even if I don't play the game itself, I quite like about the models, and also it's really quite nice to see, and there are also other things that will be interesting. So we can go to see about the insets, and I know that are at the back, so I hope that Jiwoo will keep this putting them at the end of the White Dwarf, because they started and it's much better to read the White Dwarf itself without any, I can say, problems of having this in the middle, so I quite appreciate it in this position. So here we have these data cards that are related about Middle-earth, so nice. And here we can see this that will seem like stratagems, but it's a new way to play with Warhammer 40k Combat Patrol and so on. So, okay, nice. Sincerely, you know that I don't appreciate too much how it's managed and developed for now Warhammer 40k this 10th edition. So seeing this, it's okay, because anyway it's something that you have to have the record of your opponent to be able to play, so okay. Still, maybe we'll see something like this in the future, so in the next edition of Warhammer 40k, we'll see. Still, okay, a good way to create some alternatives on to test. I'm not so much a fan, but it could be nice. Here we can see this that it's the mission related about Warhammer 40k, and here we have the one related about Age of Sigmar. I want to remind you that both these two missions are only here now, so now if you detach this, you don't have a copy inside the White Dwarf itself. It started from since some of the White Dwarf ago, and it seems to keep going. Okay, it's a way not good, because if you remove this, you lose the understanding of where it was, but at the same time it's true that you have more pages occupied by other content, so it could be nice. It's up to you decide. And here we can find that the Age of Sigmar one, it's something that recover a older battle plan readapted to the new ones, and as usual I suggest you to think about the older ones that you can adapt, because it's really always nice to see in such a way, because it allows you to use something that it was older and play again, because it's still valid in some way, so nice. Here we can see the alternative cover of the White Dwarf, that it's the same that you have as the main cover, so the one that we are seeing here, so it's exactly the same, still without any writing, so I quite like this. Remember that you can have this type of cover having the subscription to the White Dwarf, and also save a bit of money, so it's nice. It's up to you, but it's an option, so quite nice. Then we can go to open this and see the contents inside. Here we have the introduction about the White Dwarf, here the contents about the White Dwarf, so quite a lot of them. Then we can flip and you can find the main list of the reader to the theme of the White Dwarf. As usual, I suggest you to see and read more, because you could find, for example, ideas about painting, conversion, basing, other options, so it could be quite nice, or eventually some old times memory that could be resurfaced, so quite nice in my opinion to use as a referral. So quite a lot of things that could be quite nice to see. And with this that it's related to the Hobbit, we can move to see about an article related about Middle-earth. Here it's a celebration of a game about Middle-earth that has been released last year, so okay, quite nice in my opinion, not bad as option, but sincerely I prefer to see about this more, because the images about the models inside that could be gain idea about conversion, models that could be used for other things, or so on, or some dioramas that could be used. So I think that it's really quite nice, because the models about Middle-earth anyway are amazing, so reuse them in another option, it's always quite welcome. And I've had the Battlereport about Middle-earth. About this, I want to remind you that I don't like the game of Middle-earth. Still, for the ones that are like me, this could be a way to approach, to see at least if it's worth or not, if it could be used. Maybe you could appreciate it so much that then you can create your own army. And this anyway, it's a spot about the new model released about Middle-earth, but it's also an option to see maybe some ideas, for example, about creating dioramas, I said, or so on. Because anyway, it's really quite intriguing. In my opinion, they have quite a lot of potential, and still the images are quite nice to see. So try, because if you're interested, it's a way to see again that you like. If you don't appreciate, it can give you an opportunity to see a fast way to see how it's developed, how it's played. So if it's worth to go and deep your knowledge about such game, so it's quite a nice option. So I think that it's really quite intriguing. Here we can also see the models, and it's a way that it could be nice for the painting, for the scheme of colors, or to search for some models that could be appreciated in other contests, maybe renewed, converted, or created for something else. So I think that it's really quite nice. For example, this model could be nice renewed for other conversion. And then we move about the part that it's about the Warhammer 40k players with the Eldari. I want to remind you that the Codex Eldar has been released quite lately, so it's really quite nice to see them, because these are the design notes, so it's a way to deep your knowledge about them. Here we can find this, that it's the chrono story about the Eldar releasing, and it's nice because, for example, even myself, that I know since a lot ago about the various releasing, I can't keep in mind everything about all the releasing for all the armies. So see them in such a way, it's a way to have a summary about and know much better about. So nice, in my opinion, it's really quite intriguing to see them. Moreover, here you can really improve your knowledge about the Eldari themselves, the scheme of colors, the various aspect, tempos, and so on. So it's really a nice way to know much better about such army. Also, the models are really fantastic in my opinion. Even if you don't appreciate the Eldar themselves, here you can appreciate anyway quite a lot of the things should. So it's nice. Also, because you have really magnificent models. I prefer anyway the Necron, that are the opposite of the Eldari, literally, but still nice. And here we had the combat patrol about the Harlequins. And okay, they should be in the Codex Eldar, but another things to say, this one. Still, it's a way to improve them, so it's nice to see them developed. So it's an option that I suggest you to keep note about. And then we have something that I thought about. Remember the part about the additional here, the cards. Here it's about this strategic supremacy, so stratagems that are not stratagems. So a way to play that it's different. So Warhammer 40k, Combat Patrol, Crusade, you can play in different way, adding these rules. So it's not a substitute, it's an additional one. Sincerely, you know that I don't appreciate quite a lot, but not at all, the management about Warhammer 40k 10th edition Leviathan. But maybe this will be seen, or at least, if not in the main game of Warhammer 40k, in the other games, it's about Warhammer 40k. Anyway, it's a good way to try. If you want to change a bit the way that you play, it could be nice. Remember that are facultative, so it's an option. It's not something that you must, but it could be tried at least. And then we have the part about Age of Sigmar with this creating the charters. And not bad at all, because this it's about Callis and Toll, that are two charters that we are known quite a lot better along the Dawnbringer Crusade. Remember that I made the review about all the books about such campaign, so nice. And this is the first part, so it means that we'll see a developing about such type of article, and quite curious. Also because it's a way to know much better, maybe the detail and so on, and it's a way that you can really make you know better about some background and how you can create the background for your own models. Particularly about Callis and Toll, remember that there is also a specific book released by the Black Library about, so eventually you have also that one. And then we move to the part about Age of Sigmar with the Flashpoint Gnashka. Here it's a sort of other option related about lattice. So another Flashpoint that it's going to be developed for other two White Dwarfs. So quite nice. It's a really quite intriguing way to see the developing of the background, because they are not technically official one, but are quite a lot related closely to the official one. So I'm quite curious to see if in the future there will be the convergence of all these Flashpoint and be released in a campaign, maybe. So quite nice. Particularly this, it's about Backpad, that it's an orc of the Ironsunz. And I want to remember you that as Mill is quite lately the new Battleton about the orcs. So seeing this, it's a way to develop it even more. Not bad. Here in particular, here it's Backpad, has been an orc that is from the Gur, that has been moved to battle against the Ocean Reapers in Sheish. So I think that it's really quite intriguing to see the development of such character, because it's quite crafty and really quite nice. It's not the usual orc, so I quite appreciate such one, and really quite nice. So I'm quite curious to see how it will be, because it has quite a lot of potential. Here a little story that is about Dark Better, so it's a way to know it a bit better. So nice. And then we move about the part about the rules. So the Flashpoint Gnashka about. As I said, it's the first of 3, as for Lattice. And remember that are legends, so it means that they are not technically official rules, are to have fun, but still it's something that it's worth to try in my opinion. So it's sort of to have a little campaign to play with. Quite nice, and I quite appreciate. So really quite intriguing, moreover because you had the Ironsunz. Remember, you have the Battleton of the Orc that it's new, but still this maybe should be there, but at the same time it's a way to play different about and having some more option, even if not official one. Okay, then we have the part about the painting for the Orcs and the Grots, so it's a way to know much better about to paint them, and it's something that I really quite appreciate. So it's a way to develop the part about the painting, so nice. Here we have the basic training. Here it's related about Age of Sigmar, but I always suggest you to see, because this it's about the movement, so it could be useful also for other games, not only about Age of Sigmar. And anyway, it's the way that the ones that create the game play, so it's way better to know how they play usually, so knowing much better about the game itself, so nice. Then we have about the Black Library. Here we had the last part about the Tatters of Hope, and really I love that the Black Library has come back, so I love the things. And as always, I suggest you to read about this, because it's a way to improve your English eventually if you are not, it's not your main language, or you can know an army that usually you don't like, maybe because you don't play with that game or you don't like that army in particular, and it's a way to know it better. Or you can know an author that eventually you didn't know, or you know that write about another things that usually it's not written about by him. Or anyway, improve if you know the army itself better, the knowledge about it. So I quite like, moreover because you remember that here combining all of this part about the story that we can find, it's like having both a book from the Black Library, so it's not something that it's bad in my opinion. Sincerely, I hope that it will remain, because I appreciate quite a lot about such content, so nice. Here we have this that it's the part about the Tattoo Hope, so it's about the Black Library army, about them, so it's a way to see about them, about the warhammer 40k, see if it's interesting. Here the access granted that as usual it's a way to improve your idea to play or to collect or to paint. And then we have the continuation about the articles related about the car show, so there is with the cars, it's mainly related about the orcs, we know about it, but we can improve them with also other armies. And anyway, you can think about, for example, having this related about the demons, the Taos, the League of Wotan, or the Chaos Space Marines that I like to adapt every vehicle. So it's quite nice. Anyway, I like, because it's a different way to play, and I quite like, moreover because if you are going to play with the orcs, okay, you can be seen as a way to personalize quite a lot your army, so really have fun, quite a lot of fun, can't it something completely new. So I think that that's really a lot of potential, and really nice. I like these articles sincerely, because it's a way to really improve your way to play. Then we had this that it's about the skirmish mode for the Underworld, and since it's yet skirmish, okay, I don't find it so great, but it's an option. Still about the Underworld, I appreciate the miniatures, not the game, but the miniatures a lot, because they are amazing, and I bought quite a lot of the Underworld boxes, so really quite like. And I've had the satellite uplink that it's related about for similar as we've seen for the mainly list, so from a club that is related about the consortium that make you see images that could be useful to paint for the paint, for the modifying conversions. And so quite nice to see, in my opinion, has quite a lot of options to watch and have a referral, simply. Also to watch and think if you can steal maybe some ideas. Then we can find this that it's the bunker that we see things in the next White Dwarf. Here the insert that we've seen. And then here we have the back with a recall about one of the themes inside this way that it's about Middle-earth. So, what to say about such White Dwarf? Sincerely, I quite like, okay, the Middle-earth it's too much for me, but there are quite a lot of contents. Sincerely, about Age of Sigmar, I appreciate tons about the part about the Flashpoint, so I'm really quite interested, and also the part about the narrative creation of the characters. I think that it's nice, so I really quite like. The part about the Black Rabbit, it's amazing. About warhammer 40k, we have the Eldari. So for the ones that play with them, for sure they will appreciate tons about this. So I think that they like. And about the part of the aspect of war, okay, I'm not so glad because I'm not so really in a good mood about warhammer 40k lately. But I admit that it's a way, so it's something that I can't say that I don't appreciate, because anyway it's a way to create an alternative way to add options to play, so I always welcome them, so I really quite appreciate. Moreover, there are tons about conversion, painting and so on, so I think that there are quite a lot of things that could make you appreciate such a dwarf. What do you think about? Don't you like? You like? Do you prefer something else? I'm quite curious about, so eventually write in the comments. At least for now, only for the White Dwarf. I decided to put in description the link about my wish list for Amazon if you are interested about making me a gift about. I know it's the first time that I do, so I hope that it works. Anyway, it's something that it's a try. Don't feel that you have to do or so on. It's simply something that if you want to cooperate with me to give me some things that maybe I use then as a review or so on, it could be useful, or that can be useful also for the channel. So eventually you have a thing that you can share with. So from deynonmod it's everything. I invite you to subscribe to the channel, to ring the bell so to receive notification about new video, to comment under here about this video, or if you want to suggest me new videos. So I hope to see you again to the next time.